Welcome to Behind the Cusp, a podcast diving deep into the layers of self-growth, inner work, and transformation. I'm your host, Marissa Mead, and after 15 years as a digital creator, I'm sharing my raw, unfiltered journey of healing and self-discovery to walk alongside you in yours. Together, we'll dive deep into the conversations that matter most, uncovering what it means to truly evolve from the inside out. This is where you elevate into transformation. So take a breath, settle in, and let's begin. Welcome to the very first episode of Behind the Cusp. I'm Marissa, and if we haven't met before or you are just finding this podcast, I am so glad you are here. I wanted to use this first episode to take you a little deeper and go behind the scenes and share who I am, why I created this space, and what you can expect from the show moving forward. From a personal standpoint, I am 35 years old. I am born and raised in Connecticut, and I own a home there and usually spend my summer and fall up in Connecticut, the New England vibes in full swing. And then the rest of the year, I live in Naples, Florida, and live that snowbird life to its fullest. Your girl loves the warm weather. I'm also the eldest of 7 girls, and I also have a very large extended family. My family is so important to me. You can usually find me at the beach, watching a sunset, collecting shells with my boyfriend. This is our latest hobby that we just love. I'm always carrying my Stanley around filled with Element electrolytes. You'll never find me without a Summer Fridays lip gloss, and I am a sucker for a casual but elevated lounge outfit. I feel like I'm the queen of loungewear. And that is not a title I've given myself. I think anyone who's already followed me online for a long time knows that your girl loves a good lounge look, but we kind of kick it up a notch so it's just pulled together, Anyway, for the last 15 years, I have built a career in the digital space. I started a blog on a snowy night in college back in 2010. Never knowing or dreaming or anything that it would someday turn into a full-time job. Back when I started my blog, blogs in general didn't really even exist in a large scale, never mind social media platforms. They were obviously not like they are today. Now we have all of these shopping platforms and e-commerce, and just the online space in general has grown so much. So in these last 15 years, I've shared everything from style to beauty and wellness, non-toxic living, decor, travel, literally every topic I think you can possibly cover in the lifestyle, online space. And those of you who have followed me for a while have kind of watched the evolution of the brand unfolds, and also me in my own life, moving into my first home and moving to Naples, and just so many different phases of life that you guys have walked through me with. I've also documented so much of my life in general, and not just those more fun aesthetic type topics. We've covered the ups and the downs and the good things and the bad things and hard decisions and the growth of me as a person. And I think I've always been comfortable sharing kind of what's going on behind the scenes in my life, and have found that when I have done that is the time when I have the most connection with those of you who have been in my audience for such a long time. And so to that point, I've always felt a pull that that's the area of impact that I want to have and that I feel called to have, deeper than just the pretty clothes and aesthetic decor or things like that. Those of you who have followed me for a long time have seen so many different versions of who I am. In a sense, you've kind of seen me grow up and grow into, a woman going from 20 to 35. And that's kind of crazy to think about. But I think you've also witnessed different moments of the quiet unravelings, the healing, both emotional and physical and mental, and everything that's taken place, the deep inner shifts that have happened. And that's really the version of me that I'm bringing here in a deeper and wider and fuller capacity. So ultimately, I created this space of Behind the Cusp because I wanted to go deeper, and I wanted the space to be able to go deeper. You know, that platform of Instagram and everything is so great to connect, but it's also very limiting in the sense that a 30 or 60-second clip, you can't really go deep into certain topics of growth or inner work or hard life decisions or shifts or changes and all of these types of things. And so, or even like in a small caption, it's really hard to do that. So I wanted the space to be able to do that. And having a podcast has actually always been on my vision board. It's something that has kind of been a dream in my heart for several years now. And along with other things like speaking and writing a book and kind of sharing in a deeper way than just my own Instagram platform. But after the crazy year of 2024 that I went through with my back and taking all that time off of work and having back surgery, and if you have no idea what I'm talking about right now, don't worry. I'm actually going to dive into this in an upcoming episode soon. So we will go deeper. No pun intended. So you're not missing out. Don't worry. But after that crazy year of 2024 with everything, I had so much time to literally sit and think, look back, assess, reflect, and ask myself really tough questions. Like the kind of questions that sometimes you already know the answer to, but maybe you don't want to face yourself in the mirror, like with the music and kind of like answer, But I asked myself, like, what do I want my life to look like? And what kind of impact do I want to have? Is the content that I am making and creating right now really filling my cup and lighting me up? And ultimately, what I kind of came to, the conclusion I came to was when I go back into the digital world and kind of re-enter the space after this break, I want to show up differently. I want to impact my audience differently. And in some ways, I kind of felt pigeonholed in the past into sharing all the sales and links and things like that. And in some ways, yes, I love doing that. But ultimately, like at the end of the day, that's not what is filling my cup and lighting me up and feeling like I'm fulfilling my purpose. That's a small part of what I do, but it's a piece of the pie in the bigger whole scheme of things. And so I knew that that wasn't my full purpose and the impact that I'm supposed to have and supposed to make. And so this podcast and platform of Behind the Cusp is going to be just that. It's going to be the space where we're not just touching the surface things and those fun things that, yes, we'll still share and talk about, but this will be the place that we are diving deeper into the topics that matter most. It's a space where we're not just going to talk about what's going on the outside, but talk and dive deep into what's shifting on the inside. The things that women truly need to talk about more and support one another more in, and pull back the curtain and the layers and have conversations about the things that we're going through and walking through and the spaces that we are leaving and going into, or the things that we're growing and evolving from and into. So let's also dive a little bit into the name, because I want you guys to fully grasp kind of the concept of what Behind the Cusp is. And yes, it is kind of a play on words in the sense that It's going behind the scenes into me and my life and kind of like cusp. My family and friends call me frequently style cusp or even cuspy. And so like behind the cusp is kind of like behind the scenes into me, but really I'm not going to sit here and just talk about myself the whole time. That would be kind of crazy and selfish. But more so I'm going to infuse these episodes and conversations with my own personal life experience and life story and the, phases and things that I've gone through or decisions I've made and all of that, and kind of use them as the driver for the topics and episodes and guests and conversations and all of that. And so really what Behind the Cusp is a behind the scenes into the point where everything changes, because that's what a cusp is. It's the point where everything is coming together, kind of like that culmination point. You are on the cusp of change, of transformation, of becoming, of evolving, fill in the blank. And the truth is we are all on the cusp of becoming something. And that's what I want to talk about, what that really looks like. The messy middles, the breakthroughs that you are having that are leading up to that point, the things that you can't always caption, the things that are not easy to talk about. This podcast is for the woman who knows she is meant for more. Kind of just like me, I'm stepping into a new stage and phase of life knowing I'm meant for more than just the platform of Style Cusp. This podcast is for the woman who is evolving. One who is becoming more self-aware. She is high level, but still becoming. She's doing the inner work even when no one sees or recognizes it or even is aware of it. She is ready to walk herself into the next version of her life. So what can you expect from the show? Well, each episode is going to feel like a conversation. I want this to feel so approachable and comfortable and conversational. These are the type of conversations that maybe you want to have with a friend, but maybe you don't have a friend that you can have these kind of conversations with, or no one in your life is willing to have them with you. The conversations that you are on the brink of having, but sometimes feel silenced or hold back in because you're afraid of what someone may think or say. Maybe you came out of a certain life or lifestyle and you're worried about speaking your truth because of what the people in that previous life or lifestyle may think or say about you. We will talk about the moments that shape us, the healing that we go through, the healing that is unfolded and is still unfolding, and the tools that help us come home to ourselves. What are the things that we can do? What are the things that we can adopt into our life? And along the way, I will share the things that I have learned, the things that I have done, the decisions that I have made that have shaped me, that have guided me, the things that I've adopted into my life, and even how my heart and mind have expanded. Sometimes I'll bring guests on, and I'm so excited for that. Other times it will just be me and the mic, sharing honestly about what's been real for me or conversations that I'm having with you guys in DMs or emails or even real life. This is the place for the transformation. If you are craving something deeper, more than just surface things, if you are in a season of becoming, if you feel like you are on the edge of something big, this is your space. You have found it. This podcast, Behind the Cusp, is an invitation to soften, to trust, to listen, to go inward, and to fully step into the next version of who you are here to be. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much for being here on day one. Isn't that crazy? We're on day one. This podcast already means so much to me. And even as I say those words, my eyes are just welling up with tears because it is truly such a passion project for me to be doing this. It is one that is spilling from my heart, and I hope that you can feel and sense that as you are listening, no matter where you are in your morning or your day or your walk or between wrangling a bunch of kids, like whatever it is. I hope that you can feel and sense the passion and the heart that I have for this project. And I cannot wait to grow it with you. I know it is going to grow and change and evolve so much. It is not going to be the same in a year or 2 or 3, and I love that. And it is a good thing because it is going to evolve and become just as we do. So be sure to follow along so you don't miss what's next. New episodes will drop on Wednesdays, so that is the perfect little midweek pick-me-up for you. Make sure you hit that follow button, subscribe. You can listen here on Apple Podcasts, over on Spotify, YouTube, and more platforms to come. You can also come say hi over on my personal Instagram page, Style Cusp. And we also have a page for the podcast, Behind the Cusp. We're also on TikTok for both. And I will see you guys next week here for the first full episode, which will probably be about 40 to 50 minutes. That's my ultimate goal with them. So until next week, keep listening to your intuition. That is my first little nugget for you today. It will always lead you home. Thank you for tuning into this episode of Behind the Cusp. If you love this episode, I'd so appreciate it if you'd rate, review, or share it with someone else who's also on their path of self-growth. These all go such a long way in supporting the show. Be sure to hit subscribe so you never miss an episode. You can find me over on Instagram at StyleCusp and follow the show Behind the Cusp. And as always, keep tuning inward. True transformation begins from the inside out. I will see you next week.